Hello, Lettermen Row watchers, listeners, readers, followers, fans. Welcome back to another episode of Birminology on Lettermen Row. I am Jeremy Birmingham, your host, and today I am joined by one of the country's fastest rising 2021 offensive line prospects, Tristan Leigh from Fairfax, Virginia. Welcome to the show, Tristan. How are you?
I'm good, sir. How about you?
Doing really well, thank you. I'll just dive right in here. You're a guy that Ohio State fans probably only know a little bit about. You got offered by the Buckeyes back in late August, early September. You took one visit to Columbus in November, and this last week you went out to San Antonio as one of the underclassmen invited to the underclassmen combine at the All-American game, formerly the Army All-American game in San Antonio, and sort of went out there and blew up, right? I mean, you kind of had a great weekend. What was that experience? Yeah. What was that experience like for you, and how did you walk out of that feeling about yourself?
That was a really good experience for me. It was the first time I got to go against some pretty good competition since my football season. So I was just really excited to get out there and compete again. And I feel like I put together a pretty good performance to put myself in the place I'm at right now.
What are your current measurables? I know you're in the 6'5", 6'6" range. Did they do that whole thing out there, weigh you in, check you in, all that?
Yeah, I'm 6'6", 278.
Is that part of the growth for you, is trying to find a way to change your body and get a little bit more weight? Is that what schools are saying? Like, hey, we see what you can do, but we want you to stay at this weight, or do they want you at 310? Like, how do you see that developing in the next 2 years?
They tell me to basically stay at that 270 to 280 range, because they don't tell me you have to stay there, but they're saying that's a good weight because they can put good weight on you when you come here, but that's enough good weight to have to just have as a start off basically.
Yeah, because you're going to put on the freshman 15, and they want to make sure that it's the right 15. I assume.
Right. Yeah.
How have you handled the recent rush and attention that you've received in your recruitment? I mean, is that something that you are ready for, or is that something that you've not been sure how you would approach it? I mean, how's this process been for you so far?
This process has been it's very humbling. I just and things, like you said, things have been picking up the last week. I just I don't really pay attention to all the noise and all the hype. I know who I am, how I play, and nothing's really changed about me, through this last couple of days. But I just cut out all the noise and just try to stay humble and just keep working. Don't get complacent.
What are these schools saying? I mean, all these schools that have offered you in the last few months, I think I saw you the 175th ranked player in the country or something right now. But I think after the performance in San Antonio and the big offers that have come your way, that's probably going to change in the next few months. But what are these schools saying? What do they see in you? Why are you all of a sudden being a guy that everyone has to have?
I mean, they just tell me I have they tell me I'm very athletic for my size. I can move. I play with a motor. When people that have met me, they say I carry myself very well, very respectful. But I mean, I don't know, from my perspective, everything they see, but I think it's probably just the motor, and they're athletic. I can move for my size, and I like to get after it.
Do you play any other sports?
I play basketball.
Are you just a power forward, or you play center at your school?
I play center.
Do you find that basketball is something that you like to play and want to continue playing? Or will that be hard for you to give that up? Or is it a sport that you're hey, I know this is good for me with my footwork and good for me with my athleticism, and it's just sort of something to do?
I really enjoy playing basketball for my school. It's fun. Like you say, it's good with the footwork. Cause I'm just always on my feet and moving, and it's basically you run the entire game. So I'm just always working on my footwork, and I always get faster through basketball. So I think it's pretty good for my game, and I'm not sure if I'll play next year just because it'd be closer to when I'm going to school, but I'm enjoying it right now. Yeah.
Is there are you planning on enrolling early? Is that part of that decision, or are you going to look into going all the way through to June following your senior year?
I haven't decided yet. I don't know yet.
I'm sure a lot of schools are trying to already start getting you in that mindset if that's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
How is the relationship with you and Ohio State right now? I know that, as I said, you've been to Ohio State once. That was for the Penn State game at the end of November. It seems like you and Ben Chrisman and Donovan Jackson and J.C. Latham, Jager Burton, all these guys that were there together, it seems like you guys struck up a pretty solid bond.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Those are my guys. They're all good dudes, great players. We all have similar feelings about Coach Stud, great coach, really good at developing his linemen, maxing them out. And, like, Ohio State, like, definitely gives you opportunities to be a successful businessman, if that were the case, and to be a successful lineman in the league if that's your path. So I think we all just share that, like, that feeling towards Coach Stud.
What is it about Coach Stud, Greg Studwara, that has drawn that attention from you guys? Because I think that a lot of times people, he's not a really active guy on social media and someone that is out there tooting his own horn. But what is it that Coach Studwara has done that you guys find, to be a draw?
I was really drawn from. He showed us the depth chart, and he basically said, if you come here, like, you're gonna have to work. The guys in front of you are good. That's why they came here. Like, he said, if you don't want to work hard, don't come here. And I've never had, like, a school, like, say, don't come here, like, ever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't openly say, like, don't come here. He literally said, if you're not going to work hard, don't come here. And he has great relationships with all his guys. All his guys come back. When we were there, there were linemen visiting back for the game. That just shows, like, they appreciate what he did for them. So,
when did football really start providing you with this avenue? How old were you when you started to realize that there was an opportunity for free college, for, potentially a life of athletics? When did this all happen, and what was it about the game of football that drew you in?
I mean, football has always been like my first love. I never watched, like, cartoons when I was little. I always watched Cartoon Network, Football Life, those little, like, programs they had. I've always just been in love with the game, man. But my recruitment, I started talking to schools, and I was a freshman. They would, like, stop by, talk to my coach. They asked me what kind of kid I was and see some film. And then my sophomore year, I kind of started feeling more into my body, and then started getting offered pretty much.
Is there a list in your mind? Is there, like, a checklist for the Tristan Leigh recruitment? Like, what do schools have to have for you to, at this point, be considering them? Because as you get closer to signing day next December or February, whenever you decide to do it, like, more and more teams are going to get involved and more teams become interested in you. But yet you have to try to pare things down. How do you do that when your list of options is continually growing?
I don't have like a set, like, list of, like, things I look at. I just kind of try to get a feel for the school. Like, when I'm there, like, could I see myself here if I could never play football again? Like, stuff like that. And, like, what school feels like home, and what's going to be the best opportunity for me and my family down the road. I'm not going to say it's easy to, like, compare the schools, because it's not. Like, you have to find little things, because they all have nice facilities,
right?
Like, stuff like that. So you gotta really, like, find little things that, like, make them different from each other.
Who made the visit with you to Columbus in February or November? I'm sorry.
It was my mom and my brother.
What did mom think of the campus? I mean, I don't know much about Fairfax, Virginia. I'm not going to pretend I do. But is that a big city? I mean, is that a spot where it's like a city feel? Because obviously Columbus is rare in the fact that it's a college city and not a college town. Is that something that separates Ohio State? Is that something that you like? Is that something that, mom was looking at and go, wow, this campus is huge? What was the reaction from the way that Columbus is set up?
So, like, Fairfax isn't like a city, like tall building, like type city, right. Like, but it's very, like, heavily populated. So she's used to, like, people. The city, like, it's not really an aspect for me, because there's gonna be, like, people, like, all these schools that have, like, huge populations, and, like, city or town, like, type of school. I don't think she really cares, but she was really impressed with the like the academic and the football success of Ohio State. She made that clear.
When you look at different schools that you're interested in, like Penn State and Ohio State, for example, I mean, that's one that is, you're talking about two of the Big Ten's best programs, but in two very different types of places. Do you personally feel yourself like, hey, I'd rather be in this kind of situation, or does it not matter because when you're on campus, you're going to be in the football facility 80% of the time when you're not in class anyway?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. Cause like you said, like, I mean, you're not like a regular student there, like going on like walks and stuff, like going to class and noticing that type of stuff. Like you're just kind of, you're playing football and like, it's pretty much all business. So like, I wouldn't say it's like a thing for me. No, I don't.
Do you know what you want to study at the next level? Have you started to look at that?
No, sir, I don't. For
you, with Ohio State, and we're talking about those relationships that you have with Ben Crispin and Donovan Jackson, who just committed to Ohio State.
Yeah.
Is that a negative in a way because you look at these guys and you already know kind of who's leaning in what direction, or is there an understanding that there's room for you no matter what?
I mean, I've always seen it as like wherever I go, there's going to be great competition. Like that's their job to bring in guys to beat the dudes that come in, basically. So,
right.
I mean, I just see it as like we're all football players and we can build the best class like possible. So, because we're all going to have to compete anyway. So,
you're being recruited as an offensive tackle by Ohio State. Is there a preference for you whether you play on the left or the right? How do you decide that as an offensive lineman? Or you just, I'll go wherever they put me?
I mean, honestly, I prefer to play left tackle because, I mean, I've always played left. I wouldn't say I'm more comfortable on that side, but I mean, I'm just used to always being left. So, but I can play right for sure.
What is as you start to go towards these next few months, these are important months for anyone in a recruitment, especially heading into your senior season. What's next for you? Do you have a list of visits that you're taking in the winter, or are you looking more towards the spring because you don't want to travel in winter? Or where do you see this going in the next handful of months?
I mean, I'm going to Clemson on the 25th. I'll probably go I haven't decided which ones yet, but I'll probably try to get to the ones that I'm considering a lot. I'll probably try to get to those again and probably set my 5 officials. So I'm taking all 5.
Do you think that this is a process you want to have over before the start of your senior year? Are you looking at springtime official visits, in-season official visits? I mean, if you woke up tomorrow and you knew the decision that you wanted to make and you were told, okay, Tristan, now you know, give us your dream scenario of how you commit and when you commit. How do you foresee that?
I mean, my original thought was, and I'm not saying I'm not doing this, but I still might sorry. Take my 5 officials and kind of take it from there. I was planning to take those in the spring and summer. Take those officials and then kind of see how I'm feeling about the 5 schools that I'm really into to see what is my best fit. So I might have that decision ready before my senior year. I might commit at the All-American Bowl. I just haven't decided.
How long did it take for when all this really started for it to hit you? This is your life now. Are you even used to that yet?
Yeah, I say it really hit when I had the offers, the first couple of offers, it kind of was more of a local thing. People, I was a dude at in my area.
Right.
But as I started picking up more offers and started going on visits, you start to see fans noticing you and stuff and pictures, all that stuff. And you kind of just hit you just gotta realize who you are. It's kind of, I think it's kind of nice because when you're in high school, it's kind of when you try to figure out who you are. And I kind of know and I want this to be who I am. So I'll say it's kind of humbling to know.
Has it changed you in a way that you handle yourself, or is it helping you just understand that you've always handled yourself the right way? Because I know this sort of attention, it can be a negative for people.
Yeah. Before I even had the recruiting stuff going on, I seen, and like I've seen like a lot of negativity. Like some people, like it gets to some people's head and they become arrogant and get like complacent. And I mean, I just try to monitor myself. Like no matter what I have or no matter what I get, I can't settle because somebody else is always working. So I don't let that stuff go to my head because it can all go away just like that. And you just can't settle because there's always going to be a next guy up.
Where do you learn that approach? How did you get that mentality? Because it's not something that is commonplace really anymore.
I say from my father, my mom too. My mom has always told me good things, to, like keep my head straight. But my father he played linebacker and fullback at University of Virginia, so he kind of went through the recruiting thing and he saw some things like stuff getting to their head and them getting in trouble and losing stuff. So he's always just kind of checked me on that, and my mom too. They do a good job of that.
Well, look, Tristan, I appreciate you taking time. I know that this process is going to continue to only get further frustrating for you as the years unwinds, and eventually you're going to want to change your phone number and you're going to tell people to leave you alone, and that's, you're right. So hopefully you don't feel bad about it when that day comes. But for Lettermen Row readers and watchers and listeners, I wanted to extend a thank you again for being on the show, and we'll let you get out of here. So for Birminology on Lettermen Row, I'm Jeremy Birmingham. That has been Tristan Leigh. Thank you, folks, for watching and listening. We will talk to you next time.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe below to get the latest videos from Lettermen Row.
We got Letterman Live, we've got the practice report, we got rapid reaction. Hey, and we got Buckeye Q with Zach Bourne.
For sure. We got recruiting breakdowns with Berm. We got whatever you need. Ohio State football and Ohio State athletics, we've got you covered here at Lettermen Row.